it's shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports.
Kenny Nwagu now out of his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. He finds some open field here. And all the way inside the 35 before he goes out of bounds.
47 yards on the ground for him so far.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. On the carry, it's Cook. Cook with a first down and much more. And finally taken down at the 15.
And that's why Dalvin Cook is the Minnesota Vikings featured back. You put the ball in his hands, good things happen. Second in the NFL last year in rushing with 1,557 yards. And that's now back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with 30 combined total touchdowns. What a player is Dalvin Cook.
It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive. Greg Joseph on for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Johnson now returning.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27.
Watson off play action. And he just gets rid of it. Throws it away. A wise move there. Looked like nobody open. Now 2nd down. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
Chubb will have the first down and much more. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Pretty explosive run on that inside handoff, and when you're a runner of his caliber, you don't need a big crease.
You really don't, but also what we're seeing is an offensive line that's taking charge at the point of attack, aren't we? Not only are they controlling the initial contact, they're actually utilizing what they call the strain, the next 2 to 3 seconds to continue to move people.
It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
a give. This is Chubb. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here. This running game so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead him to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity. And that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball really well each and every week. And right now, we're seeing a pretty good pattern of that happening.
Tackle that time by Jarquiski Tart. This defense for the Vikings, they were terrific a week ago in the win over Seattle.
And as in any game, takeaways are always a big key. They're always discussed on defense. There's an emphasis there. And they came away with 3 interceptions in that game.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. They'll roll him out right. To the right side, he's got Cooper. It's complete. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5.
That's a big league job there of getting out of the pocket, not panicking, and just buying himself some time. Then he made a good, accurate throw to set up 1st and goal.
First and goal, and a chance to get that initial touchdown right back. They'll run with Chubb. And a minuscule gain of maybe a yard from the 6 to the 5. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Nick Chubb, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns are within an extra point of tying this thing up. Point after, right down the middle. And that will tie our score here in this opening quarter of play. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there. And it shouldn't come as any surprise that you say Adam Thielen made a catch, and it was for a 1st down. He comes off another solid season, over 900 yards receiving, one of the best route runners in the NFL.
So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. Cousins gives way to Cook. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 78 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Throwing is Cousins. His throw incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
2nd and 10. Cousins. That's caught by the tight end, Irv Smith Jr. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. A big connection on that one. 30 yards.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. From the pistol, they run it with Cook. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
On third down, Cousins. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They'll run for it with Cook. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Vikings have taken the lead. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes the score 14-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Here comes Johnson on the return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
He shook his head right when he released that throw. He knew it was going to be a little off target.
Yeah, the excitement got him on that one. Wasn't able to control the fact the receiver was open, and it would have been an easy throw.
They go with Chubb on second down. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves him with 3rd and 9 looming. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Flush to his right. On the run, he'll let this go deep right side. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Spins past him. And just a 30-yard punt that time. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really looked clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
And now the throw here is incomplete, and with that, we come to the end of the first quarter of play. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. To throw, Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. A leap, and he's got it. He got it. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll take this down for about 4 yards, down to the 15.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Hand
Handoff comes to Cook. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. A couple extra tight ends in the formation here as they line up 3rd and 2. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
Mike Zimmer's made his decision, and that decision is to try and go for this thing on 4th down. They'll run for it. It's Nwangu. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. Remember, that was 4th and a full 2 yards. There's a big difference between that and 4th and maybe 6 inches or a yard.
Yeah, you're exactly right, because when it's that 6 inches, you just fall forward and you pick it up, right? You just go quarterback sneak. But having to move bodies, that means you actually have to execute because they know what you're going to do. How are you going to make the right play call and get everyone into the right spot and win at the line of scrimmage? That's what they did there. In any event, it happened pretty quickly. I'm not sure he made the right decision on that one. I think if he had it to do over again, he would have found a different target downfield. But he made his decision, and that one's incomplete.
Cook will take this into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. So simple math here in the first half. They've had 3 drives offensively, and they have scored every time, and they've got the lead.
Well, whenever we talk about adjustments, we usually talk about an offense making adjustments, right? This is all about the defense. They've got to figure out some way, somehow to slow them down. Do they blitz a little bit more? Do they play more zone coverage? Right now, they don't know where to go because they're hitting them in every direction.
Extra point right down the middle, and it's now 21-7. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Now here's Johnson. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked so well,
else.
and maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half. I like their countenance. I like the way that they haven't panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Forced out to his left. He'll get just a yard on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Watson. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. This is caught inside the 15. And way down into the red zone before he's dropped inside of Cleveland's 15. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Getting the ball is Cook running left. He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the 2nd quarter.
Now a 2nd down and 6. A give. This is Cook. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
He's hit pay dirt a lot this year, but not that time.
Yeah, I'm tracking right there with you. You're exactly right. He's found the end zone plenty of times. No way I can find any fault with the call. He may not have scored there, but of course you're going to give it to him.
Third down, Dalvin Cook. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's fourth down. They'll run for it. Cook. And he will have the first down before he's brought down at the 3. A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on first and goal. And he'll keep working toward that end zone as he's down to about the 2-yard line. Only a yard that time. Second and goal. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns. And the Vikings are going to add on to their lead. Point after, right down the middle. And the lead down to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Returning it, Johnson. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field. Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Back to throw, Watson. Eluding the pressure right. And he whips that one incomplete there. That was an interesting look there because as soon as he got outside the pocket, I thought he was going to take off and run for yardage. But what often happens now with these quarterbacks who can move, defenses want to try and keep bodies in front of them. And I think that discouraged him from taking off and made him try a pass downfield that fell incomplete. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Watson. That's complete to Peoples-Jones. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe. Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line. But once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage. Watson. And that is incomplete. Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down. The Browns send out their punter now. They'll boot it away from about his 35. Now the Browns will use the first of their 3 timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. Watson going to stay out there as they'll go for it on 4th. On 4th down, Watson. And it's going to be batted down, and we'll go the other way with the football.
Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at 2nd down. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. To throw is Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. Touchdown! That's caught. Adam Thielen as the first half is winding down. And the Vikings would extend their lead here just before halftime. Joseph now to have the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. Johnson now returning. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Browns drive about to get started. And with 7 seconds remaining, not much time to really do anything. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. Chubb will have the first down and much more. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Even from up here in the booth, the play-by-play guy could tell that there was some pretty good blocking on the right side of the line.
Well, you have good eyes, and it's almost like a ballet when it's executed that well. Everyone in the right spot, everyone in sync, everyone hitting the perfect notes. A little more percussion and a lot more bass, I would think, than you get your normal ballet. But at the same time, that was well executed.
And he's going to go down. Couldn't get a throw off with the pressure. Maybe that was for the best, as that brings us to the end of this first half of play. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Browns going to see the football first, but they trail here as we resume play on EA Sports. Here comes Johnson on the return. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The Browns drive about to get started. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing you have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Handoff comes to Chubb. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Snap will come from the 31 on 2nd and 7. They run it again with Chubb. And he's going to be stopped just short of the first down marker at the Vikings 23. 89 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. From the gun, here's Watson. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And it's a huge return as he brings us all the way back down to the 15-yard line.
So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
On first down, it's Cook. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. They run it again with Cook. And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. They'll run with Cook, and he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3. On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. He'll get it up the middle, and he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook taking it in from a yard out. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Joseph on for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Now here's Johnson. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The Browns drive about to get started. And the interception last time on the opponent's side of the field, certainly not what they wanted.
Put it mildly, that is so frustrating because that signifies there's a drive going on. You're in a good spot, great place to run some of your best offense. Instead, they turn the ball over.
Yeah, turned the ball over last time. See if they can avoid doing it here. 2nd down, here's Chubb again. Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here. 3rd and a yard.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to convert on 3rd and short yardage with a gain of 4. On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. 110 yards rushing for him now to this point.
And when you get good yardage like that on first down, it really does a whole lot of good for your entire offense. But I love the way he's finishing those runs. At the end of things, he's making sure he gets just a little bit extra.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down. But Kevin Stefanski going to take a chance going for it on 4th. They run for it with Hunt. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And this defense is going to get the football back near midfield right at the 48.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. Second down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Again, it's Cook. Call it a gain of a couple, and that's going to leave them with a third and about 5.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
Cousins to throw it. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And if anyone thinks they're just going to tuck their horns in and pull back off the throttle a little bit, you can forget it. Even with this big third quarter lead, I think this team's going to continue to take their shots downfield, and there's another completion.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
We have played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. From the red zone now, Cousins flushed out right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. They're still throwing the football here. Now, obviously, the incompletion stops the clock. That's a bad thing.
Feels to me like they're just keeping them honest on defense because you know they're going to stack the line of scrimmage and try and stop any type of a running play. Short little passes may work in exchange of running plays. Keep the clock moving, keep them moving.
Yeah, I guess you're right. If they can get some first downs, just as good as running the football. And they'll work this down to the 15 for a pickup of 4.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They need to make up some ground, and they did.
And this play goes nowhere, losing yardage back to the 15. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. The kick by Joseph is good. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. Well, he was a spectator for much of this game. This is his first field goal opportunity of the entire contest, but he's able to connect.
Yeah, he had a pretty good seat to this one, didn't he? But let's face it, all kickers that you and I know, they want to contribute. They want their opportunity, and he seized his.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Returning it, Johnson. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Browns drive about to get started. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Now a deep ball here hauled in just past the 50. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A big play that time through the air. 30 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Out of the gun, Watson.